Take a lick and see what you think. If you like it, buy it.
Right. It's like the guy at a supermarket who was at a hot bar. Not a wet market. Hot bar. Difference. And he took the soup ladle out. He's an older guy. It looks like he was an Eastern European type guy, right? Came to the country. That's the way they do it in their country. And he took the soup ladle, and you're supposed to put the soup ladle and pour it into your paper cup, put a lid on it, and take it home and eat it. He put it right through the ladle to his mouth and sipped it.
Oh,
and put it right back in, and took the next one and sipped that. And so you're going to run into that as well. I think we're all going to change how we approach, how women approach makeup, and how men and women approach a salad bar or a hot bar or a buffet in the future.
I think you're right.
I think this is a huge eye opener to all that stuff that's laying out in the open all day long, and everybody has hands on it.
Well, this is devastating because a good buffet is
I know.
It's the stuff of God.
I know. It's going to kill everybody. But, I went to a market in North Hollywood, and he said nobody who works at a market where there's an open salad bar or a hot bar ever eats from it. Nobody.
Do you know, I eat from it constantly, but you said that, I don't know, was it last week? And I haven't done it since.
Yeah, and that's a big deal at Whole Foods, too.
Yeah, that was a place.
Yeah, and I think it's all going to shut down. I think they're all going to have to be behind a counter, and some food professionals going to have to serve it to everybody.
Well, they're going to they'll at least have to get less cute, because I told you the only thing that it says on there is no nibbling, please.
Does it really say that?
It sure does.
No nibbling.
No nibbling.
Oh, that's right. All right, very good. We are going to get through this together. Chris and Carlo's coming up. He's going to talk about the LA Metro and the COVID virus. The response to, since ridership is down to 0. Yeah, there's nobody on these buses or on these light rails anymore. Unless you really, really, really have to jump on one, it's tough to get on one. All right, we're live on KFI AM 640. We were practicing social distancing way before it was cool.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Keep rolling with the punches. I'm Gina Grad, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. LA Mayor Garcetti says he's encouraging people to weather the storm as Angelenos deal with a stay-at-home order issued last night.
This was the week that changed everything. And I know that this has been an emotional time for all of us. I know there's been a lot of crying, and it's okay to cry. I know there's been a lot of fear, and it's okay to be scared.
Garcetti says so far people seem to be adjusting to the order, which prohibits people to congregate in private and public. The order also shuts down non-essential businesses and directs people to stay home unless they need to buy groceries or take care of critical needs. This report brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration. There are 61 new cases of coronavirus in LA County.
Which brings the total to 292. County Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer says at least 138 of the total cases range in ages from 18 to 65. The average age of those affected is 47.
Younger people, while they may have a better outcome if they're healthy, are in fact one of the largest groups of people that we have tested who are positive.
County officials also announced a partnership with the Pomona Sheraton Fairplex Hotel at the county fairgrounds to house those who are ordered into quarantine. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
A firefighter in Orange County has tested positive for the virus.
It is unknown how this firefighter came in contact with the virus.
Chief Brian Fennessy says the firefighter from Irvine Station Number 4 came in contact with 24 other firefighters who've all been placed in 2-week self-isolation as a precaution.
We have strict personal protective equipment protocols in place for firefighters assigned to field operations. We are recommending our headquarters and satellite station professional staff wear a mask when they are working in close proximity with others.
She says the firefighter has mild symptoms and is recovering at home. At the Orange County Fire Authority, Corbin Carson, KFI News.
Los Angeles County Superintendent of Schools Deborah Duardo has lengthened her school closure recommendation until May 5th due to the virus. Her initial recommendation was that schools remain closed until the end of March. She says she changed the recommended time frame because of the new stricter stay-at-home rules issued by the state and local leaders. LA County has started taking steps to keep the inmate population down during the pandemic.
The sheriff has identified nearly 2,900 inmates for early release, and DA Jackie Lacey says her office is vetting those people.
You ever been in the jail? It's a place where you have a lot of people crowded together.
Lacey has also directed her staff to find ways to keep nonviolent offenders out of jails and courthouses.
And so it really is sort of triage and figuring out who can we let out.
Lacey's also directed her staff to find ways to limit witnesses from having to appear at courthouses during the pandemic. In L.A., Chris and Carlo, KFI News.
The COVID-19 quarantine has some kids going stir-crazy already.
Some parents in Orange County are trying to be creative while their kids are home from school because of the coronavirus pandemic. This dad at Walmart is buying his son something special.
We're going to go for a bike ride later.
This mom outside Albertsons is getting festive.
Easter crafts. I've loaded up on paint. We're made our own bowling game. We painted cups.
And Janice is crafting with her kids.
I went to Michael's and Staples for the art stuff, Amazon, and this is our first Target run.
All these parents say their kids are getting more than enough schoolwork during the pandemic. In Orange County, Ralph Newton, KFI News.
From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. There's a stall in Fullerton on the 91.
This is the eastbound side, right at Magnolia Avenue. Watch for the right lane blocked, and traffic's going to jam up right there at the scene. They've got this earlier crash out of lanes in South LA, 110 southbound at the 105. Traffic is wrapped up as well. It looks a lot better in the area. Overturned car in Irwindale, 210 eastbound at Irwindale Avenue. We're still dealing with this situation, and we're still facing a backup at Irwindale Avenue, just past, and that opens up and moves well as you continue ahead towards Azusa. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Angel Martinez.
Your slightly damp forecast is next.
Okay, it's almost opening time. Got to email photos of the season fly.
As a business owner, you've got a million things to think about.
Can't forget that video conference later.
Dealing with second-rate cable internet shouldn't be one of them.
But I did switch to AT&T Internet for Business, so I've got this.
AT&T Internet for Business gives you 99.9% reliability, so you can focus on running your business.
We'll need to update the website and figure out whatever that was.
And even if the power suddenly goes out, or if a construction worker accidentally cuts your cable line, your internet stays connected on our wireless network with AT&T Internet Backup.
All right, it's go time.
Choose fast, highly reliable AT&T Internet for Business and get a $100 AT&T Visa reward card. Go to att.com/businessinternet or call 855-433-5700. 855-433-5700 or visit an AT&T store today. The AT&T Visa reward card is issued by the Bancorp Bank pursuant to a license from Visa USA and can be used everywhere. Visa debit cards are accepted in the United States, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. No cash access. The Bancorp Bank, member FDIC.
My portfolio's diversified, my 401k is maxed, and my savings account just sat there till I switched it to markets by Goldman Sachs. I'm earning way more now, just between you and me. My savings are right on track, feels like I got upgraded for free.
You can, buddy. With an online savings account from Markets by Goldman Sachs, you can earn much more interest than with the largest banks. Sign up at markets.com.
Comparison made to the three largest U.S. banks measured by total deposits. Rates as of January 21st, 2020 may vary by state. Goldman Sachs Bank USA, member FDIC.
This gray, damp feel stays with us for the start of our weekend Saturday. Temperatures are cool in the 60s with mostly cloudy skies. Our next round of showers moves in late Sunday. Now, before it gets here, temperatures warm into the upper 60s to lower 70s, and we have more off and on rain through Wednesday of next week. Anthony Yanis, NBC4.
Right now, it's 63 in Irvine, 61 in Cypress, 55 in Thousand Oaks, and 57 in Malibu. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Gina Grad.
Hi, AM 640 Conway Show, Friday night. And on a Friday, a lot of us, or a lot of you, will be going out, hanging out with your buddies. You're going to a bar, to a movie, and to a dinner with your wife. You know, a lot of stuff you could be doing. And now you're sitting at home. Right? Listening to KFI, though, so that's cool. Right around until 10 o'clock. Chris and Carlo has been out there investigating the LA Metro and the COVID response since ridership is way, way, way down. Chris, what do you say? What do you know? Way down. Like, how far? 40% of its typical ridership, which actually, when I heard that figure, I was like, that's not too bad considering what we're dealing with right now. I expected it to be much lower. We saw, for example, Metrolink did a story earlier this week. They were looking at a 64% drop-off of ridership So it's pretty close. It correlates in terms of the number of people that have stopped riding. And I think I told you this a couple days ago. That's good and bad news, right? It's good news because it shows that people are heeding the call when it comes to social distancing, staying at home, not going to work, whatever. Right. It's bad news because these agencies need money in order to operate. I mean, it's just the way it goes. And especially with public transit, which is already underfunded, it requires two sources of revenue. Number one is going to be from the fare box. So every time you go through and you swipe your card, you get in. It's a little change for Metro. Number two, because of all of these different measures that we've passed over the past few years, sales tax revenue is big for Metro. And they depend on sales tax in order to keep up with a bunch of these big projects that they put out back during Measure M. And if we suddenly stop buying stuff, then that source of revenue dries up and they're in trouble. So that was part of what we heard today. It's just, the amount of ridership that's dropped, the decline in ridership, and also what that's going to mean when it comes to the long-term health of the system. As of right now, they're saying they're not going to shut down, and they're saying that the long-term health is not going to be severely impacted. But if this goes on for a few months, which it very possibly could, and that sales tax revenue and that fare box revenue is not there, they're going to have to reshift how they are working on some of these big projects here in LA County.
Yeah, it does seem to be a problem because, in most restaurants, before restaurants went to a total, just drive-through and to go, they kept, social distance, and they kept, every other table was used instead of every table to keep people apart from each other. Are they doing that on these bus routes and the light rails?
Yeah, well, yes, and
definitely not.
The official policy is that yes, the drivers and the operators and Metro staff are maintaining a social distance. However, there's only so much that you can police on what is an enormous system. So there are going to be gaps as to whether or not they can enforce that. The whole idea is that, if you've got someone walking through a train and they see two people sitting right next to each other, the idea is that they're going to be like, okay, well, I need you here and I need you 6 feet away down there. But, there's no way to see how effective the police in that has been. The other thing that they're doing is they're putting out hand sanitizing stations at the major stations. So you'll have Corral and, somewhere to wash your hands and do whatever. So they're really just trying to keep up the hygiene. They're also doing a deep cleaning of all the buses and all the rail cars on a daily basis. So typically they clean them up, but it's not really a big cleaning on a nightly basis. Now it's deep cleaning. And the busier stations, for example, Union Station, they just are continuously cleaned nonstop. I was in Union Station today, just kind of check the pulse. And it was completely empty. I talked to this shoe shine guy. Usually he's got at least one or two people lined up. I was like, man, how's it going? Like, I haven't had anybody. I've been sitting here all day. He was reading books. Like, I've been sitting here all day. I haven't had anybody. And, you're walking through that tunnel underneath the rail tracks. The Union Station just has the Wetzel pretzels and the Starbucks there if you're walking through the front entrance. And typically, it's always pretty crowded, especially as trains show up or disembark. I mean, like, there's one or two people. I put a video up on Twitter, and honestly, it looks like it's midnight and everything's closed. Yet you can hear up above the train's still running. That's incredible.
I was at that. I know exactly what you're talking about with the shoe shine guy. When you walk into the main terminal area, it's off to the right-hand side where you buy tickets. And I talked to him one day because I was early for my train. Very nice guy. And I said, "How's it going? You get much business?" He said, "No." He goes, "Today's been, it's been really slow lately." I said, "When's the last time anybody came by and had their shoe shine?" And he said, 1948. Does that seem like maybe that business is going away? Shoe shine guy, right? Yeah. It's a glamorous old train staple, but man, I don't know, with people rushing in around and everything today, and then having shoes to shine, I don't know.
The last time I got my shoes shined, I was wearing flip-flops.
sauce. It didn't go so well, so I'm not the guy to ask about this. Hey, real quick, this has nothing to do with anything. This is just an observation I'm making. So I'm in Pasadena right now. I'm not at home. I'm pretty close to home. And I am just off Lake Street. And I saw something pretty cool just happened. So this RV, and it may or may not be a homeless guy living in the RV, I don't know. But the RV basically broke down in this parking lot. And it started with like 2 people pushing it, and then like 6 or 7 other people showed up to push it into a parking spot. We're still pushing it into the parking spot right now. You know, like little things like that, little vignettes like that are happening all around town. I have the virtue of seeing them because I'm out wandering around talking to folks, but I don't know.
It sounds like they're trying to push him out of Pasadena.
Yeah, well, yeah, it does look like they're headed, directly towards San Marino. You're right.
Yeah, and the guy in the RV, and the guy in the RV will thank them all by opening up his black water tank and dousing them. I've seen this act before.
I'm just trying to bring a ray of sunshine, and you're just drenching it with rain.
I get it. I understand. Everyone's looking for the the silver lining and the one cuddly, cute story, but so far it's just been a nightmare. I mean, look, our lives have changed so much in the last 2 weeks. It is incredible. It's incredible that we're all still in pretty good spirits. Maybe this is only day 4 of being in the house and cooped up, but everyone I talk to, they're behaving. They're staying in the house. There's not a lot of people pissed. There's not a lot of people yelling and throwing stuff and breaking windows. Everyone's really calm.
For now, and I hope it stays that way. Let me maybe give you a little bit more of a depressing vignette, and that was after I went from Union Station back. I wanted to check in on a couple of vendors that I kind of built a relationship with up on Alvera Street over the course of a couple of different stories that I was covering up there. And one of the vendors, he wasn't there because every single one of those shops was closed with the exception of 3 restaurants. And so it was one of the restaurants where this other vendor I was looking for, the owner of the restaurant, and it's just tough. He told me like the receipts he brought in today, it was like $100, and it's a complete ghost town down there. And you've got a couple of these restaurants that have been there for so long, and that's just one little piece of the fabric that is LA and what makes this place unique. And of course, that is like the historic heart of LA, and it was just completely empty. And that was a bit heartbreaking. I'm going to check back with him on Monday or Tuesday just to kind of see how the weekend went. But
well, if he brought in $100, if he brought in $100 for the entire day, then I've been down there recently. That means he only sold one side order of taquitos.
No, that's not very expensive
there. I mean, I had a side order of taquitos, and I think my sister had a beer or something. It was like $48. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, it was the beer that got you, not the taquitos.
I guess. Well, I don't know, man.
Didn't you see the big news before everything blew up about how bartenders are charging too much for beer these days?
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, well, the bartenders are charging a lot for beer these days.
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it. All right, so what's happening over the weekend? What do they got you on? Anything new happening? Anything interesting going on?
I'm on standby. I'm going to try and get some FaceTime with my daughters and my wife.
Good for you.
We'll see.
You've been working your ass off, Bob.
Listen, this is all part of it, right? And that's one other thing I'll say real quick here is that there are a lot of people that are working really hard right now, and that goes for reporters, but also the public information officers and the staff that are working for all of these different agencies. There are agencies like Public Health. You might do one story with them every 2 or 3 weeks, and yet they're doing stories they're at the center of stories every single day, all day long, and they don't have a huge staff. So it's important that we remember, like, these folks are working just really hard behind the scenes. They have nothing to do with officials. You'll never see them, but we interact with them on a daily basis. And for the most part, they have been working with us to try to get as much information out as possible. And I think it's important that they get a shout out as well, because it's kind of a team effort at this point. Often our relationship is adversarial, but in this case, we're just trying to pull through it.
Yeah, no, I see that too. I see there, at least in LA and in most states and most cities, that politics has been put aside. I mean, there's still some of it in Washington, but I don't see any of it on the local basis at all.
And one thing to underscore that point is this: if there was not a coronavirus right now, I would have been on your show every single day this week talking about City Hall corruption, because there's been massive news on that, but we just haven't had time to even get into it.
I know.
So,
and the rumors going around that one specific LA council member is in a lot of hot water, and they're not mentioning who it is yet.
one?
Well, I mean, one, like, at least two right now that we know of that are in a lot of hot water, and probably
I'm talking about the one that's
been suspended for a while, and the one that that may be at the source of a lot of these bribes. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna. I know, but I mean, what a relief this all of this other news is for him.
Sure.
This would have been the lead story, because LA politics is at least as corrupt, if not more so, than Chicago.
And if people out there are puzzled as to what we're talking about, there was unnamed city council member A. There was a business person, a fundraiser for LA politics, who just pleaded guilty or agreed to plead guilty to the U.S. Attorney's Office in exchange for giving information. And he says that he gave unnamed city council member A $400 in cash, or $400,000 in cash in a brown bag, and then another $100,000 after that city council member went ahead and pushed aside a union challenge to a real estate development project. So there's that. And then, of course, we had former city council member Mitch Englander, who was indicted a couple of weeks ago, just before everything went crazy. So, yeah.
Right. It's going to be, when that story breaks, so I think that story will be the first one that, is like the third or fourth story in the rotation that day. But but people they're not going to be shocked, but they are going to know the name of the guy who did it.
They will, and I am telling you right now that we may see more than just those two names floating around.
I think you're right. All right, buddy, something to look forward to, right? The massive corruption that is Los Angeles City, man. All right, have a nice weekend, hang with those kids, man. That's a cool weekend you got going on.
Yeah, will do. Thanks, Tim.
All right, thanks, bud. There you go. All right, there he goes, Chris and Carlo, working his tail off there to try to get you as much information as possible. And, but then again, he's got a family life too. And his kids are home, not going to school with his wife. And so when he gets home, his wife has been with the kids for 16, 17, 18 hours, and she needs a little break. So when he gets home, he sort of has to take over, and his day doesn't end when he gets home. So these guys, all these reporters at KFI working their asses off, and then trying to juggle their personal life as well. And it's very difficult to do, but they're doing it without complaining and seamlessly. So hats off to all the reporters, all the news writers, and everybody in the newsroom at KFI doing an unbelievable job, making us look good, giving us information constantly as it changes. We're live on KFI AM 640. More now with Gina Grant.
The City of Pasadena Public Health Department has confirmed one new case of COVID-19. 2 people have died in LA County from the coronavirus. The second person who died yesterday was between 30 and 50 years old and lived near Pasadena. Tax day in the U.S. is being moved back 3 months because of the pandemic. People and businesses will now have until July 15th to file. There will be no interest or penalties. And the pandemic has taken down the Scripps National Spelling Bee. This year's competition has been postponed indefinitely. For up-to-the-minute information on the coronavirus, you can check out our website at KFIAM640.com, keyword virus. We will check the 55 next.
Well, you want